Okay, call to order the November 30, 2017 Planning Board meeting. First items, let's see, we have no minutes to approve on this meeting. And so first item is review a home occupation application from Patty Corvo for Thistle Shop Design and Antique Restoration at 26 Garden Circle. And I will declare the public hearing for such open at 5:34. Is there anybody here to speak in regards to this? We had it last meeting and we have to do it again, and hopefully this is the final time. Is there anybody from the audience that has any concerns or questions? If you could step up to the microphone and give us your name.
My name is Rick Burley. I own the home on West Wind Drive that has the vacant lot behind it that comes out onto Garden Circle, which is diagonally opposite the Corvos. You can tell that I don't have any animosity. I've been sitting here talking with Dave all the time. I do have some concerns about it, and I've already expressed them to him, and the concern, obviously, that I know you've heard a million times, is traffic. Anytime you have something like this in a residential neighborhood, you're creating traffic. I don't object to it, but my concern is, you know, if it builds, how far is it going to build? Is there enough parking space there? I believe there is. It used to be Dr. Proctor's house many years ago, so I don't think that's a concern. I do also have a little concern in that I have that lot is vacant. That's diagonally across from the Corvos, and the neighbors over the years have tended to use that as an excess parking area when they didn't have enough space in their own driveways. So with a business coming in diagonally opposite or being there, I have a little concern with what happens down the road if the business grows. Dave assures me that if that happened, they'd have to move out and go into a commercial area. But I just at least want to express that concern to you.
Have you noticed a change in the traffic over the past year of any sorts?
No. And in all honesty, I do not go around that area frequently enough to really probably be able to recognize that, because I rent the home out on, I have a renter who lives in the house on West Wind Drive right at the present time. So I probably only drive there by there once or twice a month or so. So I'm probably not a very good person to give you any comment on that, really.
You've not had anybody voice anything to you, or you've not noticed anything?
No. 2 or 3 years ago, I had a couple of calls from people from people in the neighborhood there who were concerned that there was a lot of vehicles and things being parked on that vacant lot that I own, and I brought that to Dave's attention, and I have not had any problem with Dave since. So.
Okay.
But I at least want to lay that concern out before the board.
Thank you.
Yep.
If I could ask Dave or Patty, my limited understanding of your shop is that you actually were granted permission to open a year ago because the land use table said it's okay, but then our land use table, as it turns out, was not correct, was outdated. So you've been open for a year already, and there haven't been any issues with traffic, but I just wanted to confirm you have been open for a year. You're just now coming through the legal process.
It'll be a year in February.
It'll be a year in February. Okay. Okay, because I'm thinking that if nobody has noticed anything in the past 10 months, then there probably isn't going to be anything much. We also have a letter from the from the police chief saying that he is not concerned about traffic issues because of your establishments.
Same with the fire chief.
It's
And
funny.
the fire chief also.
The business is definitely different than what I was doing before. I find more because of social media, Facebook. If I post something, people will just go ahead and order and call on the phone, place an order. I post enough photos that whatever they want, they just pick up and they have me bring it to them.
So you're the new
So
Amazon.
yeah, I'm not, I don't have an awful lot of foot traffic,
Well,
but
that-
it's, you know, it's going very well.
Yeah, that's the future, is internet sales.
Exactly. I'm taking full advantage of Facebook.
Okay.
Patty, you don't have any more than 2 employees, do you? I mean,
I don't have any employees.
Okay.
Right. Sue McCarthy paints, and I purchase her stuff. I try to purchase local products. It just kind of is, you know, it's a good blend with what I'm doing. But no, I don't plan on having any employees. I want to keep it as simple as possible. If I had to close the shop due to having to go downstate, you know, as we've had in the past with David, you know, it's a simple, take the fresh flowers that are in the cooler, give them to the neighbors, lock the door, and we're out of here, you know. So I can't, and I don't want to grow any larger than I am. We did buy an additional piece of property to house, I do reproduction and restoration, and I needed a facility to house all of my products. So we did buy a separate facility for that. But I don't plan on growing the business anymore.
Not lower side parking lot, there's ample places to park 6 cars there, right?
Oh, I've got a
That-
big parking lot.
Okay,
there.
that's what I thought, so.
Is there anybody else in the audience that has any questions? Any members of this body have any questions?
Yeah, I have one procedural question. We are given an exhibit in our packet that says that home occupations is a CEO or yes. And if that's not the case, why do we have that exhibit? In other words, I question why we're having this hearing.
When originally it was brought to my attention that the business was going to open, I looked at the land use table and it says home occupation CEO yes, and so I approved it. And then it was brought to my attention later that actually in the ordinance it says that the planning board has, if you look at the actual ordinance, it says that these things have to be represented to the planning board. And the home occupation application says planning board requirement checklist. That's why it came here. I don't know if the land use table probably should be updated to say that the home occupations need planning board approval, just so it's clearer. I mean, I won't make that mistake again. I made it the first time because it was the first time someone had come in and wanted to do the home occupation, and that I had to do something for it. You know, previously we had other staff that handled that. So when it was brought to my attention, to me it looked like a no-brainer, and on the land use table it says CEO yes, but it wasn't until later that it was brought to my attention, no, it needs planning board. So that's why we're here. It's just because the ordinance actually says in that sentence above the checklist that the applicant has to satisfy the planning board on those matters. So we have different parts of our ordinance and the land use table that contradict each other, and so I feel like, you know, whatever I do is going to be wrong because
All I'm suggesting is this incorrect land use table should not be part of the packet because it's confusing.
yes, and I'd like for you to know that it's confusing.
Don't give it to us
You know,
if it's not right.
I just want you
The reason why it was coming to us.
Yeah,
is that
right.
It says one thing on the land use table, but on the ordinance it says something different, so that way
So you can see
you know why it's here.
that you have a certificate of occupancy from me last January based on what was in the land use table. And so yes, it is confusing for you. It's also very confusing for staff. And I guess that's my point of having whatever is available to me for you to consider with any application, whether it's confusing or not.
Since our city manager is here, what do you suggest that we do to make sure that stuff like this doesn't happen again and it's seamless, right straight across the board, and this is what we need to do and get it done with?
Well, I think it's important to recognize that the land use table is also adopted by ordinance. So really you have conflicting laws on the books. That's the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So Penny's correctly giving you everything that's on the books.
Exactly.
It's just a matter of we need to keep working and get it all cleaned up.
So it's a workshop that we'd have to
Right.
do.
Well, actually, the workshop is in progress.
It's in progress,
The,
correct?
the situation, my personal comments is that with having gone through several assistant city managers who have been our staff, Steve, even Austin, the city manager himself, we've had a lot of hands involved in the past 4 or 5 years, and things need a good, thorough review from top to bottom.
Right, and I know that you've advocated to the city council to make sure that there is a designated staff person to do that, and I know that they were actually kind of rude to you about that. And I'm sorry about that, because I think you're trying as a board to have staff that is devoted to that so that we don't have these issues and we don't put our taxpayers through these issues. Because if we tell someone, yes, you're fine to be going, and then we come back and say, oh, I was wrong, you know, that's embarrassing for me to have to go to someone and say, yeah, I'm wrong and I need you to do this, and then that creates conflict. And then then people are worried, well, what's the worst case scenario? I have invested all of this based on your signature on a piece of paper that's saying I can do this. I've made investments, and now you're saying I have to do something else.
Well, it's a work in process, and you know, since our new city manager's background is that of city planning, you know, I'm in hopes that we'll get through this and clean it up and reduce it as far as scope, particularly the site design application. There's a lot of things there that I don't think a city the size of Caribou needs to be looking at. My personal opinion, anyway. So, thank you, Penny.
Yep.
Anybody else on the Thistle Shop? Okay, close the public hearing on this at 5:46. Any discussion or further questions? May I have a motion?
Motion that we accept.
You didn't let me. On page 4 of the checklist, okay? There's an unanswered question. I don't know if it's pertinent.
All means of egress, ingress are consistent with NFPA Life Safety Code 101 and the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Is that a level through entrance? Okay.
Well, we did have, everything was sent to the fire chief, and so that is also in your packet.
Yeah, I understand.
He had no issues with that.
So this should be a yes to,
Well, I mean, it's up to you to decide if it's yes, but the fire chief thought everything was okay.
okay. All set? Yep. Okay, Todd, you have a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the home occupation application for Patty Carvel Thistle Shop.
Second it?
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Congratulations.
Sure we get everybody sign that tonight.
Yes. We need your autographs, gentlemen. You're free to leave if you wish.
But you don't have to.
I gotta go to work. Thanks.
Those are always good words before you leave.
Paul Morgan, Access 89, Bar and Grill. And we have a review of site design application from Paul Morgan to open Access 89 Bar and Grill at 530, is that an 8 or 9 Access Highway?
9.
539 Access Highway. And this is this is Dodo's Market. This is the site of the former auto sales being turned into a bar and grill. And we'll open the public hearing on that at 5:49. Anybody here to speak to that topic? This is our second time around. We've done this once before, and we have to do it twice. Hearing nobody, we'll close it at 5:49. And do any of the members of this board have any concerns before we go down the list?
I have a small question.
Okay, where is the site design checklist? Go ahead.
I'm looking at the fire and egress plan, which is in our supplemental information.
Oh,
Third page in. This is a bar and grill, right?
Yes.
Where's the kitchen?
Oh, it's located in the store. So there's no kitchen in the bar itself.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
nice prints.
Yeah, that's a good drawing.
Is the parking gonna meet based on having business?
Yes.
And the restaurant? I mean,
Yeah, we.
I need 11 spots just for,
Identify yourself.
Oh, Paul Morgan, owner of Dodo's Market, X-89 Bar and Grill. We had, I got specs from Kenny, and Dick St. Peter went and installed a parking lot separate just for the bar.
okay.
So,
Yeah, there's adequate parking there.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't gonna, where that's gonna be open.
oh no,
I just wanna make sure that wasn't gonna impact any
Any-
traffic or
yeah.
anything like that.
Sketch right there, that.
yeah, it was required for 16 parking lots. We have 15 plus a handicap accessible.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing I saw is that,
Here we are.
where was it here? With regards to the disposal in the well, has that been taken care of?
They he approved it today.
Okay.
Yep.
Here it is right here.
But it's showing the distance. And it needs to meet a certain
You got the
distance.
state review from the fire marshal and
Yeah.
everything.
Yep. Yep. Yes, we did. Was that in the packet?
Yep.
It was?
Okay.
Okay.
Steve, do you have any concerns?
Actually, no, I think it's going to be a nice location, he's done a nice job with it. We do have some issues though that with some of the plumbing installation that's gonna be straightened out. But other than that, the leach field has gone in. The connections and finishing touches are still to be done, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah, that's out of our purview.
That way you're doing with the excavator out there now?
Yeah. Yeah, it should
Yeah,
be
it
done.
looked decent when I drove by today.
Yep. So it's coming along, and once we get the plumbing part of it straightened out, so it's inspected and tested, and I think that's the last thing on my list.
Okay, we ready to go down the site design review on page 6 checklist? Conformance to comprehensive plan.
I believe that's
I would
yes.
say yes. Traffic,
DOT thinks it's all right.
yep. Site access, yes.
But you might mention DOT in your finding of fact.
Let me see.
We have to issue a finding of fact on our approval.
See, that's why you need to be the chair. You know these things, I don't.
You missed the lesson from Dennis?
Yeah, he wasn't here.
I must have been in Detroit.
We have to make little notes on these things that we approve.
Oh, I wasn't here for that. So, DOT. Parking, we just discussed parking and
Site
vehicle
access
service.
was fire chief. And parking is okay. Only where there's a question. I mean, if
Yeah.
it's a no-brainer, then fine.
Pedestrian circulation, is that non-applicable? Or is that a yes?
I would say it's a yes.
Yes.
We are gonna.
Site conditions,
They're fine.
yes.
Yeah.
Open space,
Not applicable.
yeah, okay. Sanitary sewage, we just discussed that.
On-site,
That's gonna be yes. Water,
on-site.
yeah.
Yeah, there should be a test approval in there. I had the water tested and stuff. It's a well.
You're gonna
yeah.
need, what do they call it, a victualler's license, am I pronouncing that right?
Victualers.
Victualler's license, a restaurant license?
Oh yeah, correct. Yeah.
Restaurant license, if you read it, it's victualers or whatever.
Yeah, it's just a water, an on-premises or a bottled
Yeah,
water
you're gonna
process
need
deal.
to provide a water test to get your license. Emergency vehicle access, yes. Waste disposal,
Private.
yes. Buffering, yes. Natural areas,
Not applicable.
exterior lighting.
Yeah. Well, we installed the light over the top. It's not flashing towards the road. It's just a spotlight over the top, in front of the door, with the lighted sign over the top too of the main entrance.
Parking lot lit at all?
Yeah, there's a from Amera. There's a big. Actually Russ had it installed when he had his car sales over there, so that's lit.
Stormwater management. Are there any drainage issues there? There haven't been for 50 years, so there
No,
probably aren't
no.
now.
There's a ditch out back, I mean, it's all.
Yeah.
So that's a
Yeah.
yes. Erosion, sediment control, yes. You should be making comments on my copy.
You can take this.
Buildings, Steve says gonna be okay. So that's a yes. Existing landscaping, yes. Infrastructure, yes.
No, not applicable.
For what, infrastructure?
We're not building new roads and putting in new utilities. Right.
Okay. Advertising features, you've got a sign coming,
It's already up.
it's already up?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, good. Design relationship to site. Yes, to site and surrounding properties. Yep. Oh, you're kidding me. It's the same thing all over again. I've been on the wrong page. But then no, I have duplicate copies of the same thing.
Well, look at you.
I get the same page
Follow,
twice.
follow to the next letter.
See, that's why you're the chairman, Phil.
Yeah, well, we got an extra page in here that we don't need. There we go.
Just being thorough.
That's the alphabet.
I was gonna say, we gotta do this again? Scenic vistas and
I
area,
think that's NA.
not applicable. Utilities,
Yes.
they're
They're
adequate.
existing.
Mineral exploration, you got, find any gold?
If I did, I wouldn't be here.
Not applicable. General requirements, yes. Phosphorus export, not applicable. Okay, site design review. Okay, any further discussion by planning board members? Motion by anybody?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Move to approve the site design application.
Articulate your motion.
With the finding the fact that the DOT has checked out the traffic, fire chief is good with site access and with emergency vehicle access. Waste disposal is private, not an issue. Stormwater management is existing, not an issue. The utilities are existing. The others don't merit comment, in my opinion.
Second.
Get all that, Denise?
It's his motion.
No, I got notes here. Give them to Denise.
Second that.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll go this way first. This time.
We have a pile right here, so I started, so.
Oh, yeah?
Well, you've got the original. Okay, well, we'll send it back to you.
Okay.
Cookie dog.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
You're very welcome.
There's the original, Phil. Okay, third public hearing. Review. Thank you. You sure you don't want to bring some of those Bismarcks back?
We got all kinds at the store, help yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Go upstairs for the staff meeting.
Guys want them downstairs too.
Review of site design application from Tammy Belanger for a Clippity Doo Dog grooming located at 32 Robert Street.
They've already sent me a message.
And we'll open a public hearing on that at 6 p.m. sharp. Anybody here to speak for or against the Clippity Doo Dog? Anybody? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing at 6 o'clock. And
Can I ask a question?
certainly may.
Can I infer from the fact that we're doing this that the R2 change has been approved by City Council?
No, it has not. I don't believe it has, or I,
The rezone was approved.
Oh.
It has a 30-day effective period.
Oh, okay, but at least it's been approved.
so it's been approved, it's in process. Okay. I knew it was a done deal. When's the 30 days up?
30 days from Monday.
December 28th, I believe.
December 28th.
Didn't they do it on Monday?
No, that's
Be Christmas Day then.
Yes. It actually says in the ordinance that zoning changes are to be done in 14 days. So it's another, yeah,
with the conflict.
yeah. So I would lean towards the 14. It's just me.
And the 14 days will be December 11th, because that's my planned opening. So.
Okay, but it's
Okay.
moving forward, it has been approved by City Council, it's just logistics. Okay, that satisfies me.
Okay, final site design review criteria by planning board. Page 6 on this packet.
This is the home office. Oh, it's not on.
No,
No, never mind.
Nobody lives there.
Never.
Been down that road.
November 30, 2017. Conformance with comprehensive plan. Yes. Traffic. My recollection
Police
is
chief had no problem.
police chief said no problem.
I think there was something from
Susie.
DOT in there as well.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they did come.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
Okay, those are good notes. Site access.
Fire chief had no problem.
Yep.
Parking appears adequate.
Yes, parking, yes. Pedestrian circulation,
It's on site, it's not applicable.
not applicable. Site conditions, yes.
Yeah,
Open space,
not applicable.
not applicable. Sewage, city sewer,
City.
yep, yes. Water, city water,
Yep.
yes. Emergency vehicle access,
Fire chief is
fire
fine.
chief.
Waste disposal is,
Waste disposal,
it's gonna be, she's hauling to the tri-community is what it says.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a yes. Buffering, that would be non-applicable, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, buffering non-applicable. Natural areas, not applicable. Exterior lighting, you got any kind of lighting in the driveway?
Yes, it's motion sensor and it's
Oh.
not aimed across the street or anything, so it's directly into the driveway.
Good. Stormwater management, it's existing, so,
Same thing with erosion and sediment control, just as
so
well.
those yeses?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Buildings are fine.
Landscaping should be fine.
Yep.
Infrastructure should be non-applicable.
Agreed.
Advertising, features.
Putting up a sign, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Freestanding sign, which was approved by Tony.
Tony?
Tony Misha?
Here at the city
Oh,
office,
okay.
she has her
Yep.
sign permit.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say, has this been ongoing since Mizuko was here?
Yeah, that's what caught my attention.
Okay, advertising is a yes. Design relationship to site and surrounding properties.
I don't care if you go yes or not applicable.
I'm gonna say yes.
All right.
Scenic vistas, that's not applicable.
Utilities are existing.
Yes. Mineral exploration, not applicable. General requirements, yes. Phosphorus export, not applicable. Okay, any questions? We have a motion?
Does anybody else want to do it? No, I will.
Go ahead.
Okay, I will.
It's just Bob.
Bob and I doing it. With the notations that I'm going to provide Denise with.
Okay, is there a second?
No, second.
Do it.
You got a new voice on the end.
I'll
Or
take
you guys
it.
want
I'll
to
take it.
arm wrestle? Or
No, after
why
the
don't you take a- why
last
don't you-
meeting with Phil,
Why don't you
I
race
decided
for
just-
it?
No.
Why don't you race for it? Okay, moved and seconded.
Do it.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Finally,
Thank you very much. I
finally.
appreciate
Sorry about the wait.
it. That's okay.
What's that thing about bureaucracy, the wheels turn slow, or am I thinking of something else?
But we'll make something up that's suitable for you.
Autograph, please. Phil, on those first two originals above our signature, can you circle the approved?
I sure can.
Thank you. Okay, next item, new business. Any new business to come before us? Are you here, you're here for entertainment?
Entertainment, I was here because I got a letter for David Corvo's,
Right.
Patty Corvo's, and
Ah,
it
Yep.
didn't really apply, but I think, well, I'll show up.
It's a night out.
Yeah.
I didn't
The
recognize.
last time I was invited, I showed up and there were between 6 and 10 people at the airport hangars, so.
I didn't recognize you behind that new mustache. I just figured out who you were.
Missing the beard.
Yep. And you've got Mom with you tonight.
I do, yes, young lady.
Yeah, I used to be on the planning board downstate,
Really good. for you.
Which town?
Randolph.
Randolph. And have we got a ways to go before we ever act together? We're working on
Glad
it.
to see you've got a nice number of members.
Oh, well, that's,
It's always nice to see you out different places,
yep.
operate.
No new business? Any old business? Steve, you've been awful quiet this meeting.
I've had nothing to say.
Okay. New communications, I guess you just answered that. Nothing to say. Staff report, anything, Penny?
Penny's got some.
You have there for you to review for the next meeting. You have a binder, light reading, yes, and also plans, more light reading. And we do have these in electronic copy, and I had hoped to do it today, but I didn't get a chance to get it all stitched together with our software program so that Denise can put it online. So if it's easier for you to look at things on the computer so you can make them as big as you want, or, because some of these things are very fine detail in here. The notice for the public hearing, Denise has given that to the Aroostook Republican, and the abutters notices went out today. So. It's my understanding that someone, I don't know if it'll be from Stantec or if it will be from PDT Architects, plan to be at the meeting to answer any questions.
But this is a concept review, not a final review. Okay.
Primarily, Bob, it's the site, not the specifics of the construction of the buildings and all,
right.
But it's where the components of the school, the footprint of the
Does the
building,
whole thing fit? Yeah.
egress, parking.
Yep.
The things that when I went through, I noticed I had questions or concerns. School bus, as they drop children off or to pick children up in the afternoon. One of the questions that came to my mind was that is there actually ample parking for the buses to accomplish that properly without jeopardizing the safety of the kids? Another thing that I took notice of, looks like they're going to have a freestanding biomass heating plant located on the southeast corner of the property, which would be pretty just off the edge of Bennett Drive. Residential homes immediately adjacent to the location of this central plant. And I did not notice any redundancy for a backup oil-fired heating system in the school or in that site. So I'm under the impression with the information that I took from this plan that they're looking at 100% of their dependency is on the biomass boiler without a secondary system as a backup, which I would not recommend. This far north, when we have problems with things, usually in the winter, usually during a storm, if you need specific technicians to service that system, and they're coming out of Bangor or Portland, they just might not get here. So, I mean, as you folks look at this plan, come to your own conclusions, but you might see things that maybe could be improved. So.
Have we had problems, when you mentioned the biomass boiler, I know that people who have these outdoor wood boilers that are, 100 feet or 50 feet behind their house, sometimes there have been neighborhood complaints about the smoke or something.
Sure.
Have we ever had that, and I don't know if how clean burning these biomass boilers are, if they are cleaner burning than these wood boilers that I'm referring to,
Very much so.
They are cleaner?
The ones that you see behind people's residences or...
Yeah, the little chicken coop.
You open a big door on the front of it,
4-foot logs
and throw everything in.
The biomass
They have
boilers are pellet.
They're full combustion control systems, well, like the one at the high school's been successful.
Okay.
And they're burning chips.
They've got one at NM that's been extremely successful.
Yeah.
You mentioned that this is located near some residential area. What's the concern if it's a clean burning unit?
The byproducts of combustion could be an issue for the residents as the system is not working properly, or if the system does not work properly.
But that would be a short-lived event.
Don't know. I mean, that's the nature of the beast, I guess. The potential of possibility.
Yeah, well, there's one running.
We've got our pellet boilers here on the municipal, four municipal sites that have never worked.
Well, it's working pretty good on the rec center. It's pretty warm there today.
Well, that may be, Bob, but I doubt it's from the pellet boiler.
Really? It's not working?
I don't believe any of them work.
I'll be darned.
The recreation boiler doesn't work, but we're not using it right now because the oil's cheaper than the pellets.
Oh.
But the recreation center one is right now the only one that's actually functional.
I was not aware that we had that much trouble.
Okay.
Can I make a comment? Sure. I just want to come in, Penny. And if I'm slighting anyone else who has also been in on all this homework, then I apologize. But these packets that we're getting are fantastic.
And thanks for saying it in front of my boss.
Well, I've praised you for the same thing. So you don't like what's in the packet, but you like.
I just didn't like the fact that we had conflicting information in our packet.
That's to
Because
show
that's
that
what
we've
she
got
had, was
work to do.
conflicting information.
Okay, no further business?
Meeting on the 12th.
Oh, yes, we are meeting, thank you, Bob. We are meeting on our regularly scheduled meeting date, Thursday, second Thursday, December, I thought it was the 14th.
It is the 14th.
December 14th. Yep. Meeting it,
Okay.
So I may be leaving early on that one though.
Little League game?
Nope.
We are adjourned. Thank you.